Witherspoon category. A lot of people are not.
North central parts of Louisiana. By tomorrow morning, we'll be moving to the southern Arkansas.
Well, this morning we're going to start a series called Strapped, a godly perspective on money. And today's, do you ever watch Sesame Street? Today, Sesame Street is brought to you by the number 4. Well, today, this message is brought to you by the number 64. The number 64. Aaron, that's a weird number. Why 64? Well, because it's 64 days till Christmas from today. That means you have 64 days to shop, 64 days to wrap, 64 days to get the tree, 64 days to clean your house, plan a meal, get the house in order so you can have people over. 64 days. Anybody panicked? Here's what also is going to happen in the next 64 days. The average American is going to go into, hit it, Paul, $1,000 in credit card or in credit debt in the next 64 days. That's not one person. That is average American is going to go in debt $1,000 in the next 64 days. Now, averages work out. Some are going to be a lot more. Some of you will be less. But the average person is going to go in $1,000 in debt in the next 64 days. Over half of those people will take 6 months or longer to pay off their credit cards. That means they're going to pay interest for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. If you pay interest on that $1,000, the average is about $180 that you just threw down the drain in interest in a year. So why are we talking about money and Christmas? Because in a couple months, in like 70-some days, you're going to have New Year's. And you're going to have resolutions like, I'm going to lose weight this year. I'm going to run the marathon this year. Or a lot of people will go, this is the year I'm going to start handling my credit card debt. I'm going to handle my overall debt. So I thought, and Charity and I talked a couple months ago, why are we waiting till January and waiting till after we caused the problem? Why don't we go into the holiday season with the mindset that we're already going to be 2 months in advance of our New Year's resolution, and we're going to learn some tips on how to live a life without debt and reduce our debt. Now, I told you in our last couple weeks in our vision that we're going to get real around here. We're going to get relevant. I don't know if we can get more real than talking about money, right? And we're going to talk about money because money's fun if you got some. As David Ramsey quote, money's not fun if you don't have none. But money's fun if you've got some. Anybody done anything really stupid with money? Notice my hand is up. My hand's up. Yeah, I think we've all done something we really regret we would have not done. If you didn't raise your hand, by the way, we know you're lying, and we all know you're a liar, so we saw you. Charity, like I said, we're cleaning our house right now, and we're organizing our storage so we can have space. And when we got married, all my bachelor stuff that we weren't going to use kind of got boxed up and put away. And we found some of it recently, and we're kind of joking about how much money I spent when I was on my own and didn't ever use. And then we got to talking, and we were talking to the kids. Like, I had a gym membership in Puyallup in 2002. I moved to Tacoma in 2003. I moved to Lacey in 2005 for work, and I moved back to Tacoma in 2006 for work. And in 2008, while I still lived in Tacoma, I finally got around to canceling my $25 a month gym membership in Puyallup. How many people have had a gym membership and kind of done something similar? Like, maybe you're not crazy like me, but I just, out of sight, out of mind. We added it up. It was $1,000, $1,500. I just threw out the door because I wouldn't pick up the phone. So when we talk about money, understand, I've done really stupid stuff. So when you talk about money, it gets emotional. People are going to stop feeling guilty. I don't want no guilt. That's the rule. No guilt, no shame. This isn't to condemn anybody, so shake it out. Come on, shake with me. Shake it off. Shake, shake, shake it off. Shake your booty. I mean, your debt. Shake off your guilt. Come on. Shake off. No one is to feel guilty. I want to teach you a different way to live life. I want to show you something different than the rest of the world's telling you. I want to lay the foundation today of godly perspective on money. Next week, we're going to get practical. We're going to start talking in the next couple weeks, budgeting. We're going to talk about expenses, how to sacrifice what's important, what's not important in our world. We'll talk about when those people say, hey, I've got this great investment. $5 can turn into $5,000 overnight. What do we do in those situations? How do we build a life that's sustainable? The goal is going to be talk about this strapped life that we're all under and how to get out of it. The key verse for this series is going to be in Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 7. It says, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. The borrower is a servant to the lender. The Hebrew word there is the word ibed. Means a servant, a slave, someone who is in bondage. So if we take that phrasing and go back, it says the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave or in bondage to the lender. Now, when I say that, a lot of people aren't running around going, well, I got lots of credit card debt. I'm just a slave to Visa. I am just, in bondage to the MasterCard. People don't talk that way. Here's how they talk. We'd love to get married, but we just don't have the finances at this time. We love to get married, but we're a slave to our debt, and it's preventing us from doing what we want. I'd love to stop renting and buy a home, but it'll never happen because I'm a slave to my bond. We would like to have another kid, expand our family, but finances just aren't there yet. We're just not there. It just prevents us. That's what you'll hear, but what they're saying is we love to do what we want, but we're slave and in bondage to our debt. We love to give more, but I just don't have. People are enslaved and they don't even recognize it. And here's some things we need to understand. I want to show you the current picture of the world we live in so we all understand it. So we got some stats. Currently, the average household in America is in debt up to 136% of their household income. That's the average right now. I want to be honest with you, these stats are about 18 months old. I couldn't find the best numbers for currently, but every other stat from the 2 years ago till now has gone up. So you're probably in the 140% of your income. For a lot of people, they're that much in debt. What's that mean? That means they work for an entire year, and every part of that could go to their debt, but they'd still have to work 30% more to pay off their debt. For those carrying a credit card debt, $16,000 is currently the average person has on their credit card. The only time it's been higher was pre-crash 2008. After that, there was this huge dip because we all realized we were all in debt and we all stopped. And it's quickly climbing back to, they think it's going to go higher than 2008. And so economists are afraid of what happens after. Income has risen in this country, but cost of living is going faster. So we are making more, but we're spending even more than that. And there's this indifference. And the only place that actually works and nobody says anything about is in our government. This isn't politics. But they spend $1.7 trillion a year more than they have. And we think we're doing good. We wouldn't do that in our own lives, but sadly now we are doing that in our own life. $16,000, that's a lot of jewelry. That's a lot of golf stuff. That's a lot of TVs. That's a lot of electronics. That's a lot of Starbucks $7, $10 Frappuccino, Mocorino, whatever you're drinking. That adds up over time. 2 years ago, it was $14,000. Now it's $16,000. The average household pays $1,200 a year in interest. Interest is the amount you owe when you only pay the basic payment. It's about 18 to 25%, depending on your credit. The average 21-year-old will owe $12,000. By the time they're 28, they owe $78,000. The average household, if you take mortgage, their credit card debt, their payday loans, or this loan or that loan, and their cars, $137,000 in debt on average. On average. Looking at those numbers, no wonder we're so stressed. No wonder we're all ready to explode. At some point, the estimation is 75% of all Americans at some point during the year are one paycheck away. If they get fired on Monday, they won't be able to pay the bills in 2 weeks. No wonder we don't sleep and we have to take all kinds of medications to sleep. No wonder the divorce rate is so high. No wonder we're exploding on every social and every little problem on Facebook because we've got this mountain on our shoulder and we're all strapped. But we're going to talk about in this series a better way, and we're going to show you the roadmap. We're going to talk about how to get there. And so I know right now there's a little bit of tension in the room because somebody's going, I'm in church. We don't talk about money in church. Church and state, church and money. None shall the two meet. But actually, money and the Christian life go hand in hand. Because there is no better barometer to what's going on in your world and your spiritual and emotional and your soul than money. When they go to a disease, they don't normally go, well, I see your liver disease. You'll get some sort of symptoms, right? You'll get some sort of something sometimes on your skin. You'll have an illness. You'll have a fever. You'll have some vomit or something that says something else is going on the inside. And where we spend money and the way we spend money and the reasons we do that. Scripture is loaded from front to back about teaching on money and possessions. 2/3 of the parables that Jesus taught dealt with money or possessions. The Gospel of Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, the 4 Gospels, 1 out of every 10 verses talks about money or possessions. 2,300 verses in the Bible talk about money. Some of you are probably like, I would never heard that. I thought it was like 3 scriptures and the rest was about just love, peace, joy, and happiness. 2,300 scriptures in the Bible talk about money. Just so we're clear, 5 times as many about prayer, 5 times more than it is about faith. Talks about money and possessions. Jesus even said this, if you have a red version Bible, which is every time he talks, it's in red. Matthew 6 would say, where your treasure is, there will be your heart also. Where your treasure is, Jesus says, that's where your heart is. We say, no, it's not. But he says, it's not what you say, it's what you do with your money. For me, my money shows God and shows others where my heart is. So where I spend my money. Husky football. It's not on Cougar football. It's on Husky football. That's where my heart is. And so we recognize that. And so let's just lay some groundwork right now because, as I said, money is a godly principle. Money is something we should talk about. Why are we going to talk about it? Because no one else is going to. They don't tell you this in school. Most of our parents didn't teach us this because they didn't know, because they didn't live in a world like ours where it was possessions and things were all the things. And the government's not going to teach you this because they want you in debt. The slave to the borrower, the borrower was to the slave to the lender, right? You think they want you out of debt? No, they don't. Why? Because you'll keep voting for them for their solutions because they're going to be your savior. You ever voted for a politician who actually fixed something? No. You vote for the guy who has a problem. And so the job is create a problem, show you I'm the savior, but never really fix it. We started in the 60s. We're going to put, and this isn't political, I'm just being real. We put the system to help poor people. It's a good system. Poor people have increased by 70% since the 60s. There are 70% more people in government assistance in 40 years than there was when we went to fix the problem. They don't want you fixed. They want you slaves. I want you free. I want you to find freedom. I want you to be able to live a life that says, God, what do you want? I'm not strapped to nothing. So, other caveat, we're not talking about giving. Yeah, we're not going to talk about giving in this whole series. Giving will not be talked about. If you hear anything in these messages and you're like, he's talking about giving, that's not me. That's called Holy Spirit talking to you. But I'm not going to say it, and Charity's not going to say it. It's going to be on you, okay? So let's talk about money. There's two temptations with money. The first temptation, you can write in your notes there, is we are tempted to serve money. We're tempted to serve money. Matthew 6:24 says this, no one can serve two masters. Again, these are Jesus' words. Jesus said this. No one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he'll be devoted to one and despise the other. He says you cannot serve both God and money. You can't serve both. He didn't say you can't serve God and yourself. That would have been a pretty good one we would have agreed with, right? But he didn't go that direction. You can't serve God in power. You can't serve God in popularity. You can't serve God in sex. He didn't say, why did he say God in money? Because I think he knew our biggest competitor for our heart was going to be money. Because money comes with a lot of promises. Comes with a lot of things it could do for us. No one says, I serve money. No one says that. If I asked every one of you, do you serve money? Absolutely not. So let's take a quiz. Don't raise your hand. I'll even look at the ceiling so you guys can look at me and I won't see the guilt. Have you ever bought something you didn't need with money you didn't have? To impress people you didn't like, to keep up with people you've never met. Have you ever bought something you didn't need with money you didn't have? You might be serving money. See, money comes with false promises. It'll give you happiness. It'll give you contentment. It'll give you joy. Now, maybe you're saying, well, I've never done that. So maybe you are a person, I'm not looking, who is what they call someone who hoards their money. My stack, mine. You ever seen Nemo and the seagulls? I love the seagulls. I love the seagulls. Mine. God, no. Mine. You need help? Too bad. Mine. You might be serving money. I'm just, have you ever neglected your family for work? Never neglected your family to reach a new status? Ever neglected your family to give up time with them so you could pursue your career? Could be serving money. So we have to be aware. It doesn't always look like we think it's going to look. It's a temptation, though, to serve. The second temptation is we are tempted to love money. We're tempted to love money. But Aaron, what's wrong with loving money? I want to love money. I want to love money a lot. I want to love a lot of money. Paul writes to Timothy in 1 Timothy, he says this, an incredibly misquoted verse. For the love of money, everyone say this one with me. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with grief. Some people said, ooh, look at that shiny thing. Stay here, God. Ooh. Woo-hoo, woo. Look at that thing sparkle. I'm coming back, and you've watched it. You've done this Christian life, some of you, for a while. You've seen this. Why? Because we can love money. See, money is not good, and it's not bad. Money is Switzerland. It's neutral. Money's neutral. What you do with it gives it value one way or the other. It determines whether it's good and determines whether it's bad. Lots of people who don't have money say, well, I can't love money because I ain't got no money. But those same people will spend all their time on shopping, dream shopping online, filling carts they can never use, going and looking at homes, looking at people who have more and say, you're just a thief when you stole it. I should have that. What'd you do? You know, they criticize. They fall in love with this pretend lifestyle. So there's no correlation with no money and not loving. There's also no correlation if you have a lot of money. That means you love money. If you have a lot of money, that means you just love lots of money. No, a lot of rich people give away a lot of money. We're seeing this boon now where all these billionaires are like, I'm dying, my kids get nothing, and I'm giving billions of dollars away. So there's no correlation to having or not having determining whether or not you love money. But most people say, if I had more money, it'd solve all my problems. I wouldn't have to work as much. I wouldn't have to be gone so much. I could just have more money and spend more time with my family. But you know what happens when you get more money? They usually want something more from you at work. Hi, you're getting promoted. You're going to make this rate, but now instead of 40, you're going to work 50 hours a week, and you're going to work weekends. Money comes with responsibilities and pressures and all that other stuff. It doesn't always solve everything. People say if I had more money, I'd be out of debt. You ever seen those specials? Poor person wins the lottery, they get $4 million, and in 3 years, they're in debt $2 million. And you're like, how did you go 4 to -6? If your life trajectory is to be in debt, more money will just put you more in debt. It doesn't change. If I had more money, I could give more. But statistics show that more money you have, the less percentage of your money you tend to give. Again, money's neutral. It's not good, it's not bad. My point is, money simply makes you more of what you are. It just exaggerates it. It just builds it up. It doesn't change anything. So the lesson is, if you're a jerk when you're broke, you're going to be a jerk when you're rich. It's not going to change. So we ask a Christian, do you love money? And you've read that verse, you've heard this verse this year. No, I don't love money. Of course not. I like it. We're just dating. I don't love it, but I like it. I like it. Like a lot. Like, money and I are friends. And you always say, be friendly to everyone. So I want to have a lot of friends. So we have to be careful about liking money. That's actually love, and we just don't want to call it. You enjoy money. Like money. Fall in love with money. If I asked you, who could do more money? Who wants more? Anybody want to be brave and say, I'd love more money. I really want more money. My life would be better. Okay. So Ecclesiastes 5:10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income. This too is meaningless. I want more. I need more. My life would be better. Uh-oh. Now it says I love it. See, the problem is for a lot of us, we're under money's power and we don't recognize it because that's what we've been taught to be. In our world right now, the issue isn't how much you make, it's how much you spend. That's people's problems. Income is increasing, but our spending's going up faster. We are literally paying for our own slavery. We are purchasing ourselves into bondage. We used to understand our wants. The Great Depression, we've had talks with grandparents. We ate cabbage soup for 6 weeks because we realized that's all we had. It's a need to eat. It's a need to have clothing. It's a need to have a shelter. And the older generation, they got it because they lived through. We just need something to eat on. The world wars taught people needs. We've got it so good, we've taken needs and replaced them with wants. No longer do I need a house. Now I need the nicest house. I need it filled with the most I need a 60-inch screen TV with surround sound, Blu-ray player. I need Xbox One, PlayStation 4, the Wii U. I need the new whatever Switch is. I need all of it. I don't want it. I need it. I demand it. I expect it. I don't need food. I need to eat out every night. I need the finest food if I cook. I need steaks every night. I need clothes because it's cold outside and people don't need to see stuff. But that doesn't mean I need designer clothes. I need the latest fashion. I need to go shopping every week and just take care of myself. I need to treat myself. Those have become needs when they're just simply wants. And it has put us where we're buying our own slavery. We're not having an income problem. We're spending more than we make, which is a lifestyle problem. It shows that we have a spiritual problem because we're trying to find meaning in anything we can. If I had, I'd be happier. If I had that, I'd feel better. If I had that, people would like me. We believe our problems will be solved with more money. And we're under its influence. I just need more money and everything would be okay. What you really need is more Jesus. Plain and simple, you need more Jesus. You need more Jesus because money promises you what only Jesus can provide. When we have him, we have the wisdom to do the right things when we do have the things and to have the money. He will bless us but we need him first, not the stuff. So I'm hoping as we're going through this, we've got something stirring up that like, hey, maybe I'm in this life right now. Maybe I'm caught up. And I know for some of you in this room particular, to know your audience, you're strapped, unimaginably strapped, and there's no possibility in your mind's eye, I'm never going to make more money. I'm always going to be stuck here. And Aaron, it's only going to get worse because you don't know where I came from. You don't know my family. You don't know where I was. You don't know what I'm facing. And I'm telling you, there's hope. I'm hoping you're saying, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being stressed. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fear. I want to be free. And I'm hoping that some of you in this series finally get sick enough to say, I'll do something. I'll do something about it. I'll step out of normal and live life like it can be lived. See, we've been trained that this is impossible. You've been trained that this just scams. You've been trained you're not supposed to be free. Because they want you. I kind of sound like the guys keep saying they. But they do. The banks want you. The credit card company. The government, they want you in slavery. And God's over here going, come on, I just want you free. I got so much. I will give you life and life to the full. So here's the key thought for today. How to have a godly perspective on money. If you are a follower of Christ, we do not serve money, we serve God. We don't serve money, we serve God. You can't serve both, we choose God. That means in your notes, money then serves us as we serve God. Money serves us as we serve God. That's the perspective that we need to have. It's the godly perspective. God's here, I'm in the middle, money's here. You're doing one of the two things. Money's leading and you're telling God to follow, or God's leading and you're telling money to follow. And God says, I'll lead, money will serve you. So how does money serve us? How does it serve us? Your only real commodity that you have to sell is your time. You sell your time at an hourly rate every week. You told your job, I will guarantee that I will give you 40 hours a week. They say, we'll pay you this much money, and then they determine what you'll be doing in those time. You don't sell so much your labor as you sell your time. So if you have more money, you can buy back more of your time. How does that work? Let's say I got to go to Vegas and preach, just for an example. So you got to go to Vegas and preach. Now, if I don't have any money, I can drive there. It takes about 21 hours-ish to go, depending on how many pee breaks you need, and if you're going to sleep, it takes a little longer. So that means if I'm going to do Sunday, I need to leave Friday, drive as much as I can, sleep, wake up Saturday, drive the rest of the way, sleep Saturday, preach Sunday, leave Sunday afternoon, drive all night Sunday, drive all night Monday to go down and back in the most efficient time driving. That means I lost Friday, Saturday, Sunday I worked, and I lost Monday. But if I had a little bit more money, and Vegas is cheaper, it's only a couple $100 depending on the year. You can fly to Vegas. I can fly in Vegas on Saturday afternoon. Now I got Friday free, and I can have breakfast with the family on Saturday. I can go to preach on Sunday and fly home Sunday night. Now I got Monday back. So I have bought myself 2.5 days with a little bit of money. We get in the concept of how I can buy time. Now, if somebody was really rich and you owned a jet plane and you let that jet plane to me, I could leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, fly the 2.5 hours Sunday morning, then fly back Sunday afternoon. Now I've got one day gone and I've got all this extra time that I can work. I can spend time with family. Money buys you time. You could buy a housekeeper if you had more money. Some of you, that'd be 4 hours. Some of you, that'd be 6. Some of you, that'd be 8. Some of you, that'd be 10 or 12 hours a week that you would have free. What would you do? You could get facials. You could put your feet up and watch soap operas. You could spend time with your kids. Spend time with your families. How less stressful would your life if I gave you 10 hours free this week? Money buys you time. Money buys you options. If you don't have any money, vacation is go to your neighbor's house, camp in their backyard. A little bit of money, go to grandma's house, sleep on her couch. A little bit more money, go to Ocean Shores. A lot more money, I can go to Hawaii and spend a week in a resort. Money gives you options. So money can be used to serve us. Money, see, God's plan is you have more than you need so you can be a blessing with all the extra that you don't need. So money can serve us because it'll take care of our needs. Hey, God, what can I do with all this extra you gave me? How can I use it for you? So money can serve us with more options on how we can give and how we can change our community. Money can be used to serve us. In this series, I want to give you some hope, but I want to be real. I said I'm going to be real, so I'm going to be transparent, and I'm going to tell you kind of Charity and I's story. I lived on my own before we got married. I worked 30 hours a week since I was probably 17, saved as much as I could. I bought some stuff, and I was never really good at, like, budgeting my money. I had it. I could spend it. I put a little bit away. Sometimes I spent more than I had. But I really had this goal growing up. My dad taught me I never had a credit card until I was 35 years old because I didn't want the temptation. I never bought a car. I leased cars, and there's lots of debate whether that's the best idea, but I didn't want to owe $30,000 for a car I was only going to use for a couple of years. So I leased cars. I didn't have a lot. So Charity and I get married, or we start dating. And when we realized we were going to get married, we had a serious talk. For us, that was 3 weeks into dating. Some people, it takes you months and years to figure this out. We started dating the first weekend of December in 2011. We were married 6 months later in June. We didn't waste any time. She's not patient. She had me, so who wants to wait around for this? She wanted to get married. So 3 weeks in, we have a conversation. Let's have that uncomfortable money talk. And I'm like, cool, I'm unemployed. I ain't got much. I had some money saved up. She goes, well, what do you got for debt? Well, when I was younger, I decided I was going to go to Pierce College because it was cheaper. I can go there for like $500 a quarter. I can go to UW for $3,000 a quarter. I don't know those right numbers close. So I chose Pierce for 4 years so I could finish as much, and I was really bad at math, so it took a little bit longer. But I went there, lived at home with Mommy and Daddy at 21 years old because I didn't want to pay rent and wanted to save money. Then when I got accepted to UW, I had two choices. I could move to Seattle, get a dorm or an apartment, and take out a giant school loan, or I had saved enough money to work from home or to live home and not have to work, and I could just drive to Seattle every day, and I had the money to pay for life. Parents would feed me and clothe me and put a roof over my house, but I had to pay for all the gas and everything, but I could do that. So I gave up the college lifestyle, and I got up at 4:30 every morning, and I drove to Seattle and did school and drove back, so I didn't have credit card debt. My senior year, I got a little short on money. I took out like an $8,000 loan just to finish up, $6,000 or $8,000. When I finished school, I immediately went to work, back to where I had been working, and I made really good money and was able to find a cheap apartment, so I put whatever extra I had budgeted, I put that on my debt, and I paid away my school debt in like 3 years. I don't know how I did it. It's kind of crazy. So we get married. I got no debt, but I don't have much money. And she says, well, I ain't got that much debt, and I don't want to see us ever get in debt. So she got one rule. One, you got to get a credit card because you're 34, and that's ridiculous you don't have one, for emergencies. So we made a plan, debt-free life. She didn't have a car payment. I didn't have a car payment. We didn't want a car payment. So when we bought a new car, we sold mine, took some cash we had, and bought a car for cash because I didn't want to owe any money. So that's how we started marriage debt-free, because we had committed our lives to that point to be debt-free. From then on, we budget our life in such a way where we don't buy anything we don't need. We're kind of ridiculous about it. The only debt we currently have is our mortgage, and I really would wish I could get rid of that, but I'm still working on that. So here's how I live my life. I have like $300, or I have this little increment. I can go grocery shopping every month. And then we shop with a grocery list, so I don't buy anything random. I do the grocery shopping because I can stick to the list. But we keep it really basic because I'm not going to buy anything I don't need. We don't go out to eat. Rarely ever. Maybe once a month, and if we do, it's to Chick-fil-A. Because I'd rather have more money than go out to a nice restaurant, waste 3 hours of my life for okay food. I can cook some at home. I eat a lot of Top Ramen as a kind of a bonus snack because it's cheap and it's easy. But we made determinations. We made sacrifices. We took our car payment amounts we used to pay. We make that our vacation fund because I choose time with my family over things. So I didn't have to come up with extra money. We just took the money we were using in one area, we moved it to vacation, and I'm able to go and do crazy things. But that means I can't do anything to ruin that. I can't go out. I don't go and do a lot of things. We don't buy clothes new or on regular price. Never have. Never bought a clothes on regular price. I don't buy clothes on 10%. I don't buy clothes at 20% off. Macy's has once a year sales, or twice, now they're calling them buy twice a year, yearly sale, once a year, whatever sale. 60, 70, 80% off racks downstairs at Macy's for the guys. Designer stuff that's $100, I pay like $12 for it. And so you'll see like, oh, Aaron got new clothes. No, those are in my closet from a year ago. We just have to wait. So we don't buy clothes. I buy clothes at Ross. Now they've got Play-Doh, so you can buy consignment clothes really cheap. They're used. But what do I care? Why am I going to spend $100 for a pair of jeans if I can spend $10? Because I want to go on vacation. I want to do other things. So that's how we cut down expenses. All my shoes come from outlet stores. If I want things like golf, Husky football, I work a spare job a couple times a year. I can save up that money so I can spend money to do fun things because I don't have it in my budget. Because if I start taking it from my budget, then we have to start putting something on credit, and we start getting upside down. Is this kind of making sense? This ain't to brag. This is, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to say, hey, with a little bit of sacrifice and a little bit of determination, you can do that. We're going to move the church into our home. I want the church to be financially stable. So I'm going to go get a job so I can earn income to better all of us, so I can be more available to do ministry and I don't have to worry about more money. That's why part of the reason why we've talked about getting rid of this building. We got too much debt. It's unsustainable long term, so let's get things balanced out. There is a way to do this. And I want to help you get there. I've got some steps we still need to take, but I want to help you get there as well. Each one of you can have a life that's free from bondage. You just have to choose to take the step. Your journey may look long, but the goal, the end road can still be attainable. I know some of you it seems it's impossible, but it really isn't impossible. So let's kind of paint a picture where we all are in this church. Let's say Chick-fil-A is debt-free zone in our life. That's the inroad. If that's where debt-free life happens, we all want to get to Chick-fil-A. So we're all in here and we're all in a different spot right now. So let's say we got to get to Chick-fil-A. Some of you now are debt-free. You have more than you need. You're in Chick-fil-A eating your 8-piece chicken with the Chick-fil-A sauce and your waffle fries. We're looking out the window going, where's everybody else? Now, if we're all going to go there and we're going to walk, because we're not going to drive, we're going to walk there, that means some of you have a little bit of debt, so you're at Ashley's Furniture, and it's a simple walk across the street. You could get there quickly. Some of us, South Tacoma Way and 38th. Got a little bit more of a walk, but we can see kind of in the distance, we can see it. We're going to have to go up some hills. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but we can get there. Then there's some of us, you're like here. And you're like, it's somewhere that direction, but I'm not quite sure. I can't see it. Now, how many know if you started from here and you walked to Chick-fil-A, it's not fun, but no matter your physical limitations, whether it took you a few hours, a few days, or a few weeks, you could walk to Chick-fil-A. Even if we brought a camper and you could sleep there at night, start back up in the next morning, somebody walk with an umbrella and a heater, you could get there. So we're all, Ashley's 38th, you're here, and some of us are over in Chambers Bay. We're over in the water. You're almost to Gig Harbor. It's a lot further to go. The thing I want you to know is no matter how close or how far, it's all possible. It may take you time, but that's okay. But you can get there. Thomas, I even think about this great example. Thomas runs cross country, and there's a kid who can run 1.5 miles in 7.5 minutes, and he wins every race. Then there's this kid who finishes at like 18 minutes, 17 minutes, 18 minutes. Everyone else finishes, and 5 minutes later, this kid comes. He doesn't ever stop running. It's my favorite thing of the week is watching this little kid. He's not in shape. He's overweight, but I'm just going to keep going, and this is my pace. And I'm going to keep going no matter I don't care that Steiner's been done for 2 hours. I'm going to keep running. I'm going to keep running. And everyone stands there and they cheer him on. And everyone who's in front of you, we're going to cheer you on in this process. Because I want to see everybody finish. I want to see everybody get to that point. Just like the little guy who never stops running. We don't want you to stop running. We want you to go. So we're gonna get really real the next couple weeks. We're gonna learn some strategies. We've got Dave Ramsey. Anybody know who Dave Ramsey is? Financial Peace in University. Some of the best financial teaching out there. We've got some material from him we've put together. We've got material from another pastor who taught a similar series, and he's got some great ideas to teach us. And we're just going to get really real about our debt and try to find our way out, find the road. We're going to teach you a great little debt cloud next week. I can't wait to show you. We want to get to a point where we can be free. Romans 13:8 says, "Let no debt remain outstanding, except one, except the continuing debt to love one another." That's the only debt you should have in your life, is that you have a debt and you need to keep loving people and keep loving people and keep loving people and keep loving people and keep loving people. Why? Because we all had a debt of sin. We all had a debt, a check that we wrote that our butts couldn't cash. So somebody else had to pick up the tab. And Christ got on that cross and said, "For your freedom, I'll pay the price." So you can live free. The debt you owe, I'll wipe it away. I'll take my blood and I'll put it on the book. And the ledger will be empty and you'll be debt free. And he wants us to live a life that's debt free to the world so we can live out the love for the world. That's the ultimate goal. Money serves us as we serve God. As we serve God, money serves us. And it doesn't use us, we use it to accomplish the things of God. Let's bow our heads and let's pray. Dear Jesus, we thank you for this moment where we've been able to come together and be real and relevant and talk about life. And face the real problems that we face in life. God, we thank you, God, that you've given us direction. That you've said, hey, examine your heart. Where's our heart, God? Speak to us right now. Where's our heart? Is it where it should be? Because, God, we want our hearts to be with you. We want our hearts to be with you, God. We want our treasure to match our heart. We want to serve you, God. We don't want to serve money. We don't want to love money. We want to love you. We don't want to be slaves and in bondage, God. We want freedom. So I pray that this morning, God, in each person's life here, that as the week goes on, you start to reveal the areas that they could reduce so they could find freedom in the other areas of their life. That you help wake us up, God. Remove the blindfold that the society has put on us so we can see things how they really are. So as we go through on this journey, God, speak to us. Reveal to us the path forward. Help us put it into practice, because we're going to learn it on Sunday, but the real test is going to come on Monday. Will we take it and will we use it, God? So I pray for strength for each individual. And then this moment, as we've talked about freedom, there's some people I think in this room that said, I've been living as a slave to sin. I want that freedom that Jesus offered. How do I get that freedom? And it's simple. Lay down your life. Give it to Him, Lord of your life. Ask for forgiveness. Ask for acceptance. So if that's you this morning, you say, I just want that. I want soul freedom this morning. I want to give my life to Jesus. If that's you, while everyone's heads are bowed and eyes are closed, would you raise your hand? If that's you this morning in this room. If you want to accept the debt freedom that Jesus gave you on the cross. You can put your hands down, and with everybody's eyes still bowed, eyes closed, would you repeat this prayer with me? Dear Jesus, today I trust you with my life. I give everything to you. Jesus, save me. Forgive me of my sins. Make me brand new. Fill me with your Spirit. I want to know you. I want to trust you. I want to follow you for the rest of my life. Today, my life is not my own. It's yours, God. In Jesus' name, amen. Everyone give those people who gave their life this morning to Christ a ring. Hey, just real quick, random thing I missed in my... Like, you can go to Winco or Walmart, and they'll give you like 96 cups of coffee for $30, right? Like, that's 4 cups of coffee at Starbucks. I'm just like, here's a free tip. Like, go to... Like, yeah. Or you can brew it yourself for like 5 cents. Just... We're going to talk about that next week. I don't like Starbucks anyways. They took my Sonics. So, write everything you buy down all week long. Cash, credit, debit, no matter where it comes from, write it down. And I want you to look at it Saturday night. And I want you to go, oh my goodness, look at all the money I wasted this week. Where can I cut some money out? I just want to get that conversation started. Secondly, books at the back. Take as many as you want. Take them all. We need you. They're really good stuff. We just don't have space for them. We've read them, gone through them. It's time to bless someone else. Third thing, Mike and Pat, who sit right here. This guy goes absolutely bananas at holidays. And so his entire yard is full of inflatable toys right now for the holidays. So you take your kids, take the grandkids, take a drive tonight. Drive by their house. Come find them. They'll tell you how to get there. I'm going to bring everybody over, and they're going to come ask your address. It's really cool. We always go and take the kids, and he asked if I would tell you. She's going to make hot cocoa for everyone, so just knock on the door. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Her eyes just got really big, like I didn't promise that. But thank you guys all for coming. I hope and pray that you have an amazing week. May God bless you. May He protect you. Also, don't forget to sign up for a trunk or treat in the back. Books on the left or right. Go outside, enjoy the weather. Have a great week, guys. We love you all.
You are great.
Oh, thanks.
You're the best.
Thank you.